Hello, my name is Dominic Frisby, and it looks as though a storm is brewing. It's even starting. A market reckoning looms. Everything is looking decidedly shaky all of a sudden. Trump is swinging the wrecking ball and markets are tanking what to do. A bear market was long overdue, but now that we're teetering on the edge of one, it doesn't feel very nice. Markets don't like uncertainty. And there is a lot of it about at the moment. President Trump likes to create it. It's one of his negotiating tactics. And he is creating one heck of a lot of it. Unlike his previous presidency, when he made a lot of noise but wasn't able to get much actually done, this time around he seems to be shaking up a world order that has been in place for decades, both internationally and at home. Is he serious about America no longer being the world's policeman? It seems he is. Began with a global freeze on most US foreign aid as part of his America First policy, and USAID's closure is reverberating internationally. Many have lost their jobs, 10,000 grants and contracts have been cancelled, global aid programs have been disrupted, and more. Of course, a lot of it was illegitimate, bent, wasteful. Elon Musk called it beyond repair and an evil criminal organisation, boasting of feeding it into the wood chipper. Maybe so. It doesn't mean that ending all of this is going to be easy, anything but. There have been cuts to the federal workforce. Numerous bodies such as the Social Security Administration and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau have been targeted. But at present, the administration, it is moving quickly and breaking things, as the saying goes. And many support what is happening, many don't. Nobody knows quite how far this is all going to go. But it seems a lot further than anyone ever anticipated, judging by the speed with which things have gone so far. Europe's going to have to pay its way. Trump really means that. What are the implications of that? What's going to happen between Russia and Ukraine? What deal does Trump have in mind? Will Presidents Putin and Zelensky go along with it? So many unanswered questions. What's going on with tariffs? Are they really about the revenue? I don't think so. I think they're more about a flex, about they're a negotiating tool. What are the implications there? What is the reaction from Trump's political opponents going to be? They've started attacking Tesla factories. They hate Trump so much they couldn't even bring themselves to applaud when a terminally ill child with brain cancer was given an honorary Secret Service award. How much do they hate this man? And whether it's in the courts or on the streets, they will oppose everything he does. At the moment, they're just starting to reorganize themselves. They would rather have corruption, waste, no transparency, all of that, than have Donald Trump. Now, the amounts that have been saved so far are disputed. Doge claimed 55 billion in the first month. Others have it closer to 15 billion. But either is peanuts in the context of the 2 trillion figure Elon Musk touted during the campaign and then reiterated post-inauguration. 2 trillion would be 30% of the federal budget, which was almost 7 trillion, 6.75 trillion in 2024. We're a long way from that. There are 1,000 billions in a trillion. Musk is aiming for 1 trillion to be cut from the US deficit in the first year. We're a long way from that too. Even with all the cuts, one Reuters analysis shows that the spending has actually increased under Trump, largely due to the increase in interest payments on that extraordinary 36 trillion US national debt. Biden increased it by 8 trillion, 31%, though to be fair to him, Trump increased it by almost 8 trillion, 40% in his first term. I remember when it was below 10 trillion and everyone thought that was bad. Thank goodness for gold. That's all I can say. And if you're buying gold to protect yourself in these uncertain times, and you should if you don't already own some, as always, I recommend the Pure Gold Company. I'll put a link to them in the comments. Do you remember back in, the interview actually took place maybe this time last year, but I posted it back in October. A freaky interview with the preacher man who described Trump's assassination 2 or 3 months before it happened, and he described it with uncanny accuracy. He then talked about an almighty crash. Here is that clip.
And they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash.
Now, people are always predicting crashes and getting it wrong, but you have to admit that guy was pretty amazing. It is scary. As I say, if there's one thing markets don't like, it is uncertainty, and we have that in abundance. Nobody quite knows how this is going to pan out. I, for one, am incredibly optimistic. The sooner the system is drained of corruption, waste, rent sinking, non-productive endeavour, crony capitalism, lack of accountability, all the rest of it, the better, in my view. But I recognise there is a mountain and more of upheaval to get through first. Again, I say it, thank goodness we have such a large allocation to gold. It's behaving like a trooper. Who knows? A mining boom might even come out of this. But the stock market does not like it one bit. Here is the S&P 500, which has almost fallen off a cliff. I have a dolce far niente portfolio and where we trade very little, and I'm seriously considering reducing the equity allocation until things stabilize. What's so unusual about this correction is that the dollar is behaving badly too. Normally, and the days of normality are long gone, I'm afraid, but normally you would expect a dollar rally in a situation such as this as capital flees to safety. But the dollar has plummeted too and is similarly oversold. This is why we own gold, folks, and thank goodness we do. Now, I actually think the markets could bounce now, and I very briefly opened up a long position in my spread betting portfolio. It went up a little bit, I got stopped out, pulled straight back down again. Batten down the hatches, everyone. This may be a storm that is just starting. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to my Substack. I'll put a link in the comments and in the description. And of course, if you're buying gold, don't forget the Pure Gold Company. I'll put a link to them as well. But thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will be back with another video very soon. Until then, goodbye.